have you ever thought of making videos which doesn't look homemade and which comes with all the limitations of camera shakes by just holding your phone with your hands only? This modern high-tech toy can convert your videos from looking like an amateur homemade video to a super stable, professional looking one. So hey, welcome to PyTech. This is Pawan and this is the review of the DJI OM4. So the OM4, successor of the older generation OM3, what has changed? Nothing significant. Well, I would say both ways. The price has jumped from 9.5K to 11.5K, and now the phone mount is a more convenient and comfortable magnetic one. And this gimbal is 50 grams lighter when you compare it to the older OM3, and also this gimbal can handle up to 230 grams of smartphone weight. What do you get in the box of the DJI OM4? You get the gimbal itself, of course, you get the magnetic phone mount, and also you get that ring thing which you can stick on the back of your phone so that you don't have to ever worry about putting the mount on and then attaching your phone to the gimbal. I chose to stick to the mount because I don't want that ring sticky thing on my phone's back. You get a normal screwed 3-leg tripod. You also get a carrying pouch which is very handy and is of high quality. And also you get a Type-C cable with the box included so that you can charge your gimbal with it. This is a solid built handheld gimbal. All the materials used to make this gimbal are of high quality. There is 3-axis stabilization, of course, like in any other gimbal. They are pan, tilt and roll, where you can take all those cool gimbal shots while assured you won't be having to deal with any camera shake. These 3 motors act just like your arm joints, the shoulder, the elbow and the wrist, where they can rotate independently in their own axis. I've been getting some really beautiful, stable to the core shots with this gimbal, and as much as I want to shake the phone and test the gimbal and stress the motors, it ends up giving me the perfect butter smooth shots at the end. But yeah, if you go full rogue and mess around with the calibration of the gimbal, the motors will act weird and roll around like a mad bull. So make sure you restart the gimbal every time this sort of situation happens. But don't worry, it's not a deal breaker. You won't experience it very much. It's a very rare case. But if you do, make sure you restart the gimbal and recalibrate it. The coolest part being the way it starts up and turns off, designed in a way that it delivers your phone back to you for added convenience. Now coming to the features of this gimbal. First one being the magnetic phone mount. The older OM3 did not have any kind of detachable phone mount per se. It just had a attached mount which always stayed with the gimbal. You had to fold it with it along. So that wasn't that compact, I would say. But this OM4 comes with a detachable mount, so that makes the gimbal ever so smaller and compact. It also makes it lighter to carry around without the phone mount. And just the convenience of snapping the phone into place and opening it up and start shooting, nothing beats that. There is also another option which you can go for if you don't want to always mount your phone onto that clamp and attach it to the gimbal. You can choose the phone ring, which is just like your popsicle or any other phone rings in the market, but this is magnetic. You can just decide to keep that phone ring stuck onto your phone's back so that you don't need to always take that clamp and mount it on your phone. You can just take the phone, snap it into place and open the gimbal and start using it right away. The next one being the control buttons on the gimbal. One is a power on off button which also acts as a mode switcher. There is a shutter button which lets you play and pause your videos or record or stop recording. You get it. There's a trigger behind the gimbal which is very useful, which actually does a lot of things which you might not even think of. It actually changes between various shooting modes, I would say. If you press and hold the trigger, it changes into this lock axis mode, which can actually keep your phone locked at a particular axis even though you shake your gimbal how much ever you want to. This mode is really useful whenever you're shooting a fast shot where you have to run with an object, say, or you have to walk with an object. Your gimbal won't even let that phone shake from its axis. So yeah, that's a really good feature to have. And if you press the trigger once and then press it again and hold it, it will change into the sports mode where it rapidly moves your phone along with the gimbal, no delay. as such. So this also is helpful. Say that you see a really fast car on your road and you want to take a shot of it right away, you can do that with this. And also, if you press the trigger twice, it recenters your phone to your default position. And there's a zoom slider on the left side of the gimbal which zooms in and zooms out, but this feature only works if you're connected with the application. It doesn't work with any other default camera apps. Then there's the main part, the joystick, which you can use to control the gimbal. You can pan it or tilt it or roll it. You can control it any ways you want to. There is a USB-A port through which you can actually charge your phone while you're shooting with the gimbal. This acts as a power bank if your phone is out of charge. And finally, of course, you have your USB-C port where you can plug in your USB-C cable, any USB-C cable for that matter, and charge your gimbal. Keep in mind, charging this gimbal takes almost 2 to 2.5 hours from 0 to 100, and the battery life is epic, which is around 10 to 15 hours of usage. Personally, I have tested the gimbal where I've got a battery life of around 12 hours with heavy usage. So yeah, you can really depend on this gimbal if you are going outside without a charger. Keep in mind, there are a few things which only work when you have connected your phone via Bluetooth to the app, which brings us to the DJI Memo app. Yeah, that's the word, which unlocks additional features. Firstly, it connects via Bluetooth. The camera interface is decent, not great I would say. Personally, I didn't like the camera UI that much. Whatever shots I've taken using the gimbal, I've either used the default Samsung camera app or the FV camera app. The zoom slider, the shutter button, these two controls won't work with your other camera applications. You need to use the DJI Memo application for these two features to work. I really don't know why DJI is taking this decision. Basic features like zooming into an object should not be made exclusive to their application only. But these are some shots which I took with the Memo application and played around with it, just to show you and demonstrate how everything actually works. There are your usuals like your hyperlapse and time-lapse, and there are some exclusive features, if you would say. There is a feature called dynamic zoom where you can click on an object and fix the focus on that object and slowly walk backwards. What this app does is, it lets your camera zoom into that object as you walk backwards, sort of giving it a cinematic feel. Then there is panorama mode. I think this is a really good feature added to the application where the gimbal does really fast, cool moves and it legit looks like a robot taking up shots, and at the end you get a really good quality, no shake panorama shot. And then there is object tracking mode / person tracking mode. It's just a tracking mode which allows you to track a particular subject and the gimbal automatically tracks that subject. You can see here I have given an example too. And finally, there is a gimmick thing which is called the story mode. I don't know how many people actually use this mode, but yeah, it lets you basically make custom stories, 15 to 30 second stories for Instagram, I believe, where the app automatically applies all the transitions, filters and whatever it is to make all the shots which you have taken and compile it to a final video. So is this handheld smartphone gimbal worth the purchase? I would say it's absolutely worth it. Yeah, the price 11.5 thousand rupees sounds much for what it does, but you need to actually use it properly to get to know its elegant design, robust motors, and the convenience of having a magnetic mount. Yeah, of course, the super solid stabilization of every video you shoot using the gimbal. My own shots have improved after I started using this gimbal to shoot all my B-rolls with. So yeah, if you are in the field looking for some really sought after camera gear, this would be a great purchase. And that's about it for today. If you like the whole video, don't forget to smash that like button. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you have any more questions related to the gimbal, do comment down in the comment section below. As always, this is Pawan signing out.